Hi, everybody. It's Morgan again here for Roll20 ReRoll for the month of July. There are a lot of little updates on the VTT, and so I thought I'd bring Andrew with me to talk about some of those. Andrew?
Hey, how's it going? I'm glad to be back. Thank you for having me. Andrew, the guy from the VTT stuff. So that's what I'll be showing today.
Official title.
So there's a lot of things that we've been doing with the toolbar over the last month or so that it's been out. It's been out a little bit longer than a month. But we have been listening to a lot of feedback. We have been responding to a lot of that feedback, and a couple of cool things that we want to show you as a result of that feedback. By the way, thank you for that feedback. We've got a lot of them, thousands and thousands and thousands, more than I can read on a single day, in fact, because I've tried. But some of the big things that we released in the last few weeks are directly related to your feedback. One of those is the toolbar sizing. A lot of people have said, it's too big. It takes up a lot of my screen. We hear that. And one of the things we were trying to do is make the toolbar bigger so it's more accessible. But we think that we might have overdone it a little bit based off of the feedback. So we looked at it again, and we think we can get it smaller while still maintaining some level of accessibility for a lot of people. There's some other accessibility things that we'll look at in the future, but for now, we want to try to make sure we strike a right balance. So what you see here on the side is a smaller set of icons. They're a little closer together. They're a little, not as many margin points. So we hope that that takes up less size on your screen. You're probably saying to yourself, like, but I still think it takes up too much space. And in that case, it may be because there is a bar there, or the fact that there's icons up and down. There's more icons, more icons than there was before. We hear you. Unfortunately, we can't go smaller because of accessibility concerns. But we did add a new thing that will allow you to collapse the toolbar. So now you want that perfect, pristine view where you're just looking at the VTT. You can easily get that by just collapsing the toolbar. And hopefully this will allow you to see some beautiful maps. Also, for people that do streaming and things like that, this could be a really great view for you. You can pop it out, do what you want, push it back in, and still get that nice, beautiful view. One of the things to note in here too is that while we also made the toolbar smaller and we're now collapsing it, on a mobile experience, it's still fairly big. So we went ahead and defaulted the mobile experience to a closed toolbar. What that gives you is a much bigger space in order to see what's going on. You can, in fact, even get the right panel collapsed as well, and you can see a full view of the actual map, which we hope will do some to make the mobile experience a little bit better for you. Another thing that we did in response to feedback is we worked with our zoom. So we started with a big zoom button and buttons, and we refined it down smaller. We also heard a lot of people say that they really liked the slider. So we brought that slider back. And then we heard a lot of people that were like, well, but I also liked the numbers, and especially the zoom to fit option. And so what we've done is sort of all of it, or what we're trying to do anyway. So as you can see here, this is already in slider mode, but if I don't like it in slider mode, I can actually come in and change it back into just a percentage based. Or I can keep it in slider mode, and it will stay that way for all of my games. So your preferences stay for your games. If you are in slider mode, we also still have that percentage now. So you can click on that. You can get all of these cool options, especially this sort of zoom to fit option back again. So all of that is still available to you, and hopefully it is now enough options where you can have it just the way you want. Another thing that we're trying to do is start getting ready for some future features. The measure tool. We've been talking a little bit about how we want to start redesigning the measure tool. And we have started on that work. In fact, I'm hoping to show you in the next few weeks what we even have. We'll see if we can do that. We've talked a little bit about how we're going to redesign those with new templates and things like that. And you should see some of that stuff working soon. But one of the things we went ahead and released in relation to that is player colors. So as you can see down here by my name, I now have a player color that is a bright and brilliant blue. Everybody will now get one of 5 player colors, which are specifically designed to be high visibility when contrasted with other maps of other kinds. The reason we're doing this is so that when we start doing tools like measure or other things, you will start to see those player colors be used in there, and you can start associating that color with those people. This has been a feature for a while, but what we've changed is the colors themselves. And now we have 5 colors that should be assigned to the first 5 people. We have another 7 colors just in case it goes over. And then we go back to our default of randomly assigning a color. This also fixed a couple of bugs that were in this system where people would get bad colors that would cause problems. Lastly, what you're probably then thinking is like, but I could still assign my own color, right? Yes, you absolutely can. So you could still override that, but now we have some smart defaults, which will help us be it a little bit more accessible and just a little bit nicer too. The first thing that you'll be able to start seeing those new player colors on is a new feature that, well, it's not a new feature. We're surfacing it, just like I talked to you about being more discoverable. You can ping on a map. I don't know how many of you know that. When you long press, you can ping on a map. And as you can see, you can use your player color. But for particularly for people that are using touchpads or mobile devices where your touch is important on like tablets, it was hard to be able to get that ping to happen. If you use a tablet, you know what I'm talking about. So what we've done is when you long press on a tablet or on a desktop, which I'm currently on right now, if you right click, you'll get this context menu, which used to just be paste and undo, but we now have 2 new options. And that is you can ping everybody, which does the exact same functionality as long pressing your left click, or you can focus ping, which is also something that we have had for a while, but it's not been surfaced. So now you can get access to that easily by clicking there. It will then recenter your camera for everybody. This is a really great way for GMs to be able to point exactly where people should be at the map when they first get there, or to center everybody's attention around a specific area, maybe if you move a room or go to a different floor or something like that. So let us know what you think. You can still opt in to the new toolbar and the new UI by coming down here and interacting with this what's new, or coming up to your settings area and choosing this redesign. You can also leave us feedback, which we appreciate very much. And I look forward to hearing what you have to say.
All right, I'll go ahead and take it over from here. A couple things I wanted to look at real quick. First off, last time I was up here, I showed you all free character transfers for the character vault. And this is giving more people access to being able to move characters in and out of games. You can check out last reroll for full details here, but the big point is that now even non-subscribers are going to be able to copy a couple of characters into games to get themselves started out with trying out this feature. And we've got some other things coming up in that area in the near future that we'll be talking about a lot more. That feature is out now as of late last week, and so you can get in there and check that out now. A couple of other quality of life type of changes. We have released some additional tools for content creators, including the ability to bulk upload assets, bulk edit assets that you are uploading for content packs. So that's a handy tool to make it easier for our content creators to get more sophisticated content out to you. And then we have done some performance improvements on the character sheets. Now, some of you who may have a lot of content, who have maybe a bunch of the big options books like Tasha's and those sorts of things, you've got a lot of things in your compendium, may have noticed over time that things like the spell list that we're looking at here have gotten a bit slower to load, especially when you're leveling up characters near the higher levels. We've done some big performance improvements here, and as you can see, we've substantially brought down the time that it takes for the screen to render and be ready for you to start interacting with, start selecting spells, and to get out of leveling up and back into playing the game. There's a long way to go here. We actually already have some stuff that we're looking at right now that brings down this time even more, but we'll get that out as soon as we can. Let's see. Besides that, I also would like to steal the scoop from the content team before they have a chance to do it and let you know that we're now open with pre-orders for the Marvel Multiverse RPG. The reason why I am so rudely stealing content's thunder on this is because I wanted to take a second to show you a little bit of the character sheet and character builder for that. We have been working for a while on a new character sheet system that will allow us to build much more sophisticated character sheets and much more robust, highly interactive character builder experiences. So what you're seeing here is Miles Morales' character sheet for the Marvel Multiverse, and then here is the character builder. Now, these are all work in progress. There's a little bit more to go on here. There may be some unfinished bits around the edges, but you can see stepping through the process here, some fancy visual effects as you move through, and definitely a much more robust, snappy, performant, and an engaging character builder experience. And this is just the tip of the iceberg here. I think that's going to be it for us this week. Thank you so much for your time. And on to
Thank
content.
you very much.
Thank you, Morgan, for talking about all of the exciting updates in the Roll20 VTT. And hello, everyone. My name is Brooke Whitney, and I'm going to be one of your hosts talking about new releases on DriveThruRPG and Roll20 this month. I am a partner relations representative over at DriveThru, and I'm very happy to be here. And with me is Eve.
Yep, I'm Eve. I am the resident production goblin, I think is still my official title. And I will be talking about some of the upcoming releases coming to Roll20, as well as the pre-orders available for Everyday Heroes. As I mentioned, we have pre-orders currently available on Roll20 for Everyday Heroes by Evil Genius Games. These cover some of your absolute favorite action movies from, not just the 80s, but also some more modern titles. Everyday Heroes is a modern take on the 5th edition of the world's most famous role-playing game that puts you in the shoes of essentially your favorite actors and action heroes from things like Kong Skull Island, Pacific Rim. Escape from New York looks amazing. And finally, I learned yesterday that they also have the license for The Crow, which in my opinion is the only excuse to let a friend dress up like the Crow. Those are all 20% off right now, along with the Everyday Heroes core rulebook. And they will be coming out at the end of August.
Speaking of modern games, PocketQuest is DriveThru's second annual game jam, where designers were challenged to create a whole new game in just 20 pages from the prompt out of this world. We received over 100 submissions for PocketQuest, and half of those were from brand new partners. You can check out all of these awesome works by searching up PocketQuest 2023 on DriveThruRPG, and be sure to keep an eye out for our next game jam. Shown here are just a few of the incredible titles we received. Go check them out.
Not quite as far future as Out of This World. We also have Gal Dossier, which just released on Roll20 here on July 17th. It is, let me tell you, it is exceptional. Of course, it contains a short adventure in it, which we are showing images from the maps that include the tokens that come along with it. But it also includes full write-ups on tons of different NPCs that you can insert as needed into your Cyberpunk Red game. If there is one thing about Cyberpunk and about Night City, it is that that world should never feel lifeless, and Gal Dossier is exactly what you need to breathe life and energy and pathos into the NPCs that inhabit your world, to give them backstories, wants, needs, desires, everything. So go check it out.
Santa Claus may not be coming to town just yet, but Christmas is coming to drive-thru at Roll20. Our annual Christmas in July sale is live the last 2 weeks of July with discounts of up to 25% off your favorite titles. This is one of our biggest sales of the year where you can pick up hundreds of games, adventures, maps, and more at unbeatable prices. Hundreds of publishers will be participating, so don't miss out on these bargain deals.
Wow. Yeah, that's huge. That is also on Roll20 as well, all across our marketplace. So go get your deal on.
You can now buy select Roll20 titles on DriveThruRPG. 30 iconic Dungeons & Dragons products are now also available for sale on DriveThru, delivered directly to your Roll20 marketplace items upon purchase. Get beautifully illustrated maps ready for exploration with pre-placed tokens and dynamic lighting support right from your DriveThru account. Accessing your Roll20 content is simple, and each purchase comes with easy-to-understand instructions so you can get to the fun right away. Grab these classics today and keep an eye out for more Roll20 content on DriveThru marketplaces coming soon.
Now I'd like to take a moment to talk about a game that I have looked forward to since I first heard it was going to be coming out a year ago. The Pendragon starter set came out at the end of June on Roll20. And it contains everything that a fledgling game master needs to run a band of freshly knighted characters through their adventures in the historical fantasy of King Arthur's Britain. So as I said, the Pendragon starter set contains everything that your players will need to start out on their quests and adventures. On Roll20, this includes multi-sided tokens for all of the pre-generated knights that you can use for really any purpose. All of these tokens have an image of the knight on one side and their heraldry on the other. You can just check out right here. I have the character sheet open for Dame Lynell. And if you look right here, here is her token on one side. And on the other side, you have her heraldry of Hardy per Pale or in Dexter, Argent in Sinister, and Eagle countercharged. It is absolutely stunning work that has been done. And the entire book is like this. On Roll20, there is a standalone module that includes stunning maps of Britain from the time of Arthur Pendragon, along with my favorite part of this. I just ran through it myself. There is a solo adventure called The Adventure of the Sword and the Stone. And this solo adventure acts as an introduction to the setting and the game. It is set up in the VTT like a choose your own adventure game with handouts that link you from one to another as you read and play through. Now, we also have, if you have already checked out Pendragon, we have a birthday celebration going on for heroic maps, which I think is the perfect time to get some maps together to use in your Pendragon game. It is the 10th anniversary of heroic maps on DriveThru, and this year they have expanded their sale to include Roll20 as well. You can get up to 60% off of their maps, and even better, if you are a Roll20 Pro subscriber, you can get the Heroic Maps Essential Locations bundle absolutely free. This Heroic Maps location bundle includes several exceptional maps that would work perfectly in your Pendragon game. I'm going to show you one of them, the Lair of the Bandit King. Let me go ahead and close Dame Lynell here and zoom out just a little bit, because let me tell you, this map is huge. It is everything that you could possibly need if your players are taking down some local bandit king who's been causing problems for the populace. Has all sorts of side passages, beautiful, beautiful lighting that you can work with to add lighting on the VTT using Roll20's dynamic lighting tools. Just look at this. And this is one of the, I want to say, 5 different bundled maps included with the Heroic Maps Essentials Location Kit, Essential Locations Bundle. So there, if you are a Roll20 Pro subscriber, no reason not to go and take advantage of this. It's something like a $60 value. And let me tell you, I have been absolutely blown away by every single one of the maps from it.
The Dash is back. Design Dash is a fun and friendly game show competition where Iron Chef meets tabletop role-playing games. We brought 3 fabulous DMs Guild creators together to design an encounter based on a surprise prompt in just 15 minutes. If you would like to see the minds of Sebastian Yue, Lila Fujiwara, and Aaron Tierney at work under pressure, then go visit the Roll20 app YouTube channel and check out the VOD. You will not want to miss this, and keep an eye out for our next Design Dash episode on Roll20 app Twitch and YouTube in August.
Thank you all so much for watching Roll20 ReRoll. I am Eve, your local production goblin. This has been Brooke as well. Thank you all so much for joining us, and please, please, please look forward to next month.